Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I am the human behind Creation Miss Couture, and today we're doing an overdying of an old project that I did. It's been a little while. I did a while back, so I will be linking in this video. So basically, in that video, I was using different skeins to show the importance of movement when you're dyeing tonals. That if you don't move enough your skeins, you will most likely end up with white patches because of the resistance created during the process. So I used the skeins that didn't had any movement, so hence they had white patches, and I overdyed on those to create a new color. And let's get into the video. Okay, hello friends. So basically what we're doing today is overdying old skeins. And the main reason why I wanted to overdye those specific, it's not necessarily overdying, as it's basically, we had those in one of my video that was like a comparison of like when you're doing movement and using pots instead of pans, and this was the example of I didn't do any movement, I didn't move the zip ties or anything, so this is why we have so much white patches where we had more resistance. So it was to do this comparison. I will be linking the video in either the description box or directly on the video thing. So what I'm going to be working on today is trying to overdye those section, but also use leave no dye because I've got some extra color that I made for my color wheel. So I'm going to be using those stock solution before the stock solution is not as good as it used to be. I'm going to add a little bit more water because I had 9 cups of tap water in there. I already have acid as well, but I don't think it's going to be enough liquid for what I want to do because they were dry skins. And I just want to make sure that I have enough. So I'm going to be adding another 9 cups of water. Okay. So I think that's going to be a little bit better. So I'll be able to see more of the skeins. And I know that usually when I only have 2 skeins of yarn, I'm using my half pan. But in this case, I want to be able to have a better like observation point for the skeins. So this is why I only have 2 in my full catering. And you can see that I have a better access to those. So I think so. Another thing we could have done is just like what I'm doing is using the same stock solution that we had to dye the skeins in the first place. However, I'm not exactly sure what I used because that video was like a while back, so I don't think I could spot dye with the same thing. So that's why I'm going to be using my leave no dye that I have for the stock solution. Okay, I'm going to turn on the heat right now so it can start striking a little bit. And I currently have, so this is a 1% stock solution of the Caribbean Blue, and I have 100 milliliter. I think what I'm going to do is like I'm going to go up to 400 milliliters because we know that blue overpowers a lot if you watch my color wheel with the blue as an accent. So I think I'm just going to top it up to, we'll go with the 500 milliliter. Okay, and we're just going to apply. So it will be an overdye, that's for sure. Okay, because we won't have that. I think it was Cabernet. Okay, so that will help a lot of movement. And we're going to have sort of a fade. going into there. So this should be an interesting final result. So this is turned on. Okay, so I'm going to let this cook for about 10-15 minutes, and I'll come back to see if it has a if whoa, I cannot speak. I'm sorry, friends. If the color struck, if we should like flip the yarn and see that. So I will see you in a little bit, my friends. Okay, so it has been about half an hour, and we still have a little bit of blue in the pan, which is fine, because what we can do is we can still turn off the heat, and the blue will still continue to strike the yarn. That's why you usually want to wait at least 45 minutes after you turned off the heat to even consider washing your yarn, because during that time, like, it's little scientific stuff in chemistry, all the science stuff that I'm not exactly sure what the word is happens. It's magic. It's magic. Science is magical, actually. So, anyways, so we're going to turn off the heat for this for now, and then we're going to let it rest for at least 45 minutes. And usually, what I do is, since I'm doing small batch, is I'm just going to let it completely cool down in the pan, and then we're going to be able to wash it. So, let's turn it off. Yoopie doo. Ouch, that was hot. Do not touch the hot element, friends. Okay, see you in a bit. And here's the final result of the overdying of the yarn we did a little bit earlier. So you can see here that the spots that were left are much wider than the rest have pick up on the blue, which is fantastic. And we have those shift and different hues of blue and purples created when it went in contact with the, I'm pretty sure it was Cabernet, for this. So we still have some spots that are almost gray, because for some reason, anytime you're doing something, you will find out that you can create gray. And this is the one, it looks skinned up. So basically, the way it would knit up, if you're knitting, it's going to create micro stripes. With crochet, I'm not entirely sure how it would look like. I think it would look very interesting, but it would probably create more pooling than with knitting it up. So, and when in doubt, you can always overdye, which is basically the moral of the story. And I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you've liked it, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing to the channel, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye!